Better Preach, episode 89, live podcast at Seek and more. Welcome to Better Preach, a podcast for Catholic leaders on developing and delivering great Catholic talks. I'm your host, Ryan O'Hara, a Catholic speaker, podcaster, and consultant, and I'm so excited to join you on your journey of communicating the true, the good, and the beautiful. Okay, so whoever first dreamt up the idea of bringing together college students over winter break to hear and respond to the gospel was a genius because this has been this incredible tradition in campus ministry forever. You know, in the 20th century, Crusade really kind of brought this thing forward. Campus Crusade for Christ, that is now Cru. And everybody has been trying to imitate this model because it works. It's powerful. And in just a few days, the Seek Conference is coming, sponsored by Focus, of course. And that'll be happening January 1st through the 5th in Salt Lake City. And I'm going to be there. And today I'm excited to share with you the three things that I've been asked to do and kind of work on during the conference. And I'm looking today both to kind of bring you up to speed on some of those things because it relates to what we talk about here on Better Preach. But I'm also looking for your input and your prayer. Are you down for one or both of those things? I'd really appreciate it. And so that's one thing. Secondly, this is the last episode of season 3. Okay. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer and blah, 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 and all this other stuff and whatever. But we're kind of at a good stopping point. And I have some really exciting interviews coming up that have already been recorded, actually, that will release in season 4. Rhymes with Father Hike Blitz. I don't know if that sounds familiar. Okay. So season 4 coming early spring 2025. Okay, so that's coming up. So just know there's going to be a bit of a break. This is sort of the last episode of season 3. So please be sure to stop by and say hi on Instagram. Would love to connect there. And without further ado, let's get into it. So ever since I first caught wind of the Passion movement and kind of the Passion conferences in the mid-2000s, I've had this vision and kind of zeal for the power and the momentum that can flow from gathering hundreds, even thousands of college students together for a Christian conference over a winter break. All right. As I mentioned in the opener here, this idea has been a staple of college ministry for as long as I think there's been college ministry. Crusade kind of got things going with their Christmas conferences. Passion Conference blew things up under Louis Giglio, bringing 50, 60, 70, 80,000 college students together over the new year. And then other groups too, like the One Thing Conference from IHOP, Rise Up from CCO up in Canada. Damascus has their annual conference for college students and young adults over winter break. SPO got into the game a few years back with their conference Ascend, which I was so honored and excited to be a part of. That was an amazing 3-4 year run there. And in the Catholic world, the gold standard really has become this college student conference that was started by Focus, called Seek. And Seek is now not just for college students, but kind of centered primarily on reaching college students. But it's really become a place where Catholics gather each year. And so I'm excited to be going. I'll be going with SPO, and they'll be bringing a group of about 500 students and staff members from all over the country. This is going to be really cool. SPO will be one of the biggest groups there at Seek. And so I'm excited to be going with SPO. I'm helping to give one of the breakout sessions, but SPO is sponsoring 4 breakout sessions, and I've been helping with the content there and connecting with the speakers and so on. And SPO is doing a bunch of other things as well. There's a praise and night prayer that SPO is sponsoring the first night of the conference. That'll be really exciting if you're around room 155 at about 9 p.m. on night 1, January 1st. So that'll be after the main session there. Anyhow, traveling with SPO, really excited to be a part of it. But I wanted to share with you the 3 things that I'll be working on while I'm there. And I hope, just in general, if you're there, if you're at Seek, if we know each other, if we don't know each other yet, I would love to meet you. And I'll be hanging around the SPO booth a bit, and I'm going to name a couple of places where I'll be. I would love to connect with you if we could work that out. But let me just share the 3 things that I'll be working on, and would love for you to connect in with as well if you're interested. Okay. So the first thing, and I've alluded to this a few times on the podcast if you've been listening closely, but I have been asked to do a live recording of the Better Preach podcast at Seek, which is super cool. And this is all connected into the network of podcasts that Better Preach is a part of, formerly Spoke Street, now Mac Studios. And Kyle Hyman is the one who will be producing. He works with Mac Studios, and he'll be producing the media stage there where all of the live podcast recordings will happen. There's 14 different podcasts that are being recorded. Better Preach is one of them. And so there it will be. And I'm so excited. It actually be one of the first ones that will go live. When is this? January 2nd, day 2, 11:45 in the morning. I will be there live and in person and interviewing Father John Burns. Super pumped about that. Incredible priest of the Archdiocese of Milwaukee, has a call to speak more broadly in the church, and an apostolate of prayer, particularly for women religious. Excited to dig into all things preaching with him. So if you want to come check that out, watch the live recording, 11:45 a.m. on January 2nd. Would love to see you there. One of the pieces of input I'm going to be asking for at the end of the episode is, what questions should I ask? There will be a link in the show notes where you can just click it and just share with me your input on what questions should I ask Father John Burns. Would love your input. All right, so that's number 1. That's the first thing that I'll be doing. The second thing I'll be doing on the morning of day 3, I'll be recording a couple of YouTube videos for the Focus YouTube channel. Really excited about this, and I'm in the process right now of kind of finalizing the material for those videos. These are kind of short videos, I guess, 5 to 7 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes long. And so working on the scripts there, working on kind of fine-tuning the ideas for that. Would love for your prayers for that project. So that's the second thing. And finally, the third thing that I'll be doing, which is I'll be speaking at one of the afternoon impact sessions. Again, in room 155. Room 155 is the place where kind of SPO is kind of home base. SPO is one of the kind of main sponsors of Seek. I'm not sure what tier, but it's one of the kind of main groups helping to sponsor Seek. And anyway, so we've got this room, and it'll be where the 4 SPO impact sessions will be. Let me tell you a little bit about those impact sessions. Room 155, each of the times. We're going to kick it off with Annie Hickman on love your actual neighbor. And this is about relational evangelization. This is about mission and hospitality, and his life, his wife, and his family are incredible examples of being on mission, of love and hospitality for your neighbors. So Annie Hickman's going to kick off the first of 4 SPO impact sessions. Then Brita Vitello, who is a campus minister at Northeastern University in Boston, she's going to be doing a talk on how to heal relationships torn up by wrongdoing. And so, as Christians, we hurt one another and we do things that break, our relationships apart. So how can we repair those relationships? How can we heal those relationships? It's going to be an inspiring and very practical talk as well. So Brita is going to do an incredible job there. That's the second of 4. The third of 4 will be SPO's own and NET's own Bishop Cousins. Bishop Andrew Cousins is going to be speaking on the power of the Holy Spirit. And this is going to be an amazing session. I would love for you to check that out. And then finally, I'm going to be doing a session called Why Praise is Always the Right Response. It's about a session on the gift of praise. There's this incredible line in Eucharistic prayer number 4 that says, God, you have no need of our praise, but our desire to thank you is itself your gift to us. So I'm going to talk about how praise is God's gift to us. If that sounds interesting, I hope you join us. If that doesn't sound interesting, I still hope you join us. So that's the third big thing that I'm excited to be working on during this week at Seek. It's going to be a full week. I mean, the conference itself is enough, but I'll be focusing on these other little projects that I've been invited into. So really excited about that. So I'm looking for two things. I'm looking for input and prayer. So if you're up for giving some input on questions for Father John Burns, would you send me an email? There'll be a link, fill out a little form, super simple. If you could give me input on questions for Father John Burns, that would be awesome. Or if you're like, hey man, I'd love to pray for you. I'll let you know that I'm praying for you. I want to pray for not just you, Ryan, but I want to pray for the whole conference. If you're down for praying for Seek and praying for these sessions and things that I'm doing as well, I would really appreciate your prayer. All right. It's a quick one there, folks, but man, I thought, gosh, I should tell you guys about what's going on. I've been hinting at it and talking about it, and I feel like I can finally now go public about this, that I'll be doing these things. I'm really excited about it. And most of all, if you're hearing this and you're going to be at Seek, we got to connect up, like at least a fist bump or something. I don't know, something. Just want to say, hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of the crew that listens to this show each week. I'm so blessed by that. As I say each week, and I mean it. There are millions of shows out there, and you chose to press play today, and you made your way all the way here to the end. I am so, so grateful. We will see you next time. See you next time. It's not just next week. This is probably a couple months-ish. But we'll be back, and we're going to hit the ground running with season 4. Some really exciting guests. Can't wait for you to check that out. All right. That's happening. Peace.